along with our staff, Alicia and Dr. Pines, and of course our famous Erica, who helps us along the way, and all her staff. So we want to take a moment just and go around and let everybody introduce themselves and let you know we're always here for you. So I'm going to start with Alicia.
Good morning, everyone. Alicia Alves, Federal Programs Specialist, and wants you all to know that we are here to serve you however way we can. Best way of contact is probably email, but if not, you're welcome to give a call or leave a message if I'm not available. But just glad to be here and to let you know we're here to serve our 21st century grantees.
Everyone, I'm Rebecca Pines, 21st century ed specialist as well, here to help in any way that I can, just as you are. So if there's anything that I cannot answer, I will definitely get that in you and get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And you all for joining us. Any questions, just let us know.
Excellent. And Erica?
Good morning, everybody. We're back from the holiday. I'm 21st Century Program Director from Truman Pierce Institute at Auburn University. I do technical assistance, professional development, so I can help with Easy Report and external evaluation piece and kind of direct you to who you need to talk to if you have questions. And I send Friday emails generally, but you'll get one today since I was out last Friday.
Excellent. And then we have two TAs. Angela?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Angela. I serve several grantees on the north side of the state. It's good to be with you this morning.
Perfect. And I don't know if Ellen's had a chance to get on. I don't see her name anywhere. And then also I wanted to let you know that Alicia and Rebecca right now are taking over the duties for Diane and Paige, who have moved on to other things. So normally our contact is you might contact Erica and she may say, get in touch with Angela, and then Angela talks to you, and then she goes on to Alicia, and kind of the chain. So we all stay in the same communication. But right now, because we are short two TAs, and if you know anybody that's interested, any retired teachers, we are hiring. You would go directly to Dr. Pines or Alicia, and they will contact you directly. But we are here to serve you. Please don't hesitate and think, well, I don't have a TA. You always have a TA. As a matter of fact, you have tons of TAs because you have Erica and her staff, you have our whole staff, and then our regular TAs. So I wanted to let you know that in case you have any questions or need any assistance. So hopefully, first thing I want to know is how your programs are going. Lisa, again, tell us what's going on. I think you're on mute.
I'm sorry. We had a great first semester. Things went well. We're growing. We have lots of kids. Everybody seems excited. We've had, of course, some staff changeover, some site coordinators changeover, but that just happens. But all is well. All is going great. Ready to get back started. Our kids don't come back until Thursday. So this is our first day back. And so I'm getting my mind back in the swing of things. Of course, I worked some through the holidays, but so we're excited to see the kids and get back going.
Excellent. Wow, that's a nice break till Thursday. That's great. So tell me, Lisa, and I'm going to go around and ask some different things till we start chatting back and forth. But Lisa, what's been your biggest challenge with the cohort 16 starting up?
Let me think. Staff, that's always a big problem. I don't know what the deal is now. I know that, of course, now I'm speaking from my heart, so don't judge me, but I do know that, there's a lot required in the classroom now, especially in the younger kids. There are lots of programs. We're trying to get scores up. We're trying to do things, and there's a lot required, but it's making it tough on me to get teachers. That's my biggest thing right now, I guess, is keeping staff that will start and then they'll say, this is just too much on me. I've got to have more time in my classroom, to devote to my classroom. So I guess that's been my biggest thing, is getting the staff, all in place and trained, and I get someone trained and then I'm turning right around to train again.
Yeah, we understand that, and we've learned to record our Zooms and record our trainings, everything we do, so that we're not repeating and forget to say something. Alicia, will you chime in just a little bit here about staffing and what to do if you're having trouble obtaining staff, keeping staff, and the process of hiring new people and what you can do pay-wise for real quick?
Okay, so some suggestions came to mind. Depending upon your area, what I have seen and just talking with different grantees, some of them have been creative in maybe establishing contracts with outside resources. And so I've seen where people have set up their tutoring, their remediation, and all of that from an outside resource that comes in and provides that instruction for the students, and that relieves the teacher from having to do a whole lot of leading out and whatnot. The biggest thing that I've seen is that those individuals that have that contract, they have access to the data. They know the curriculum or the standards that need to be taught that are weak or maybe strong to make them stronger. I have also seen where there's been competitive hourly wages. So if there's the school system or a nearby school that has LEAs paying at a certain hourly wage, and you notice that their hourly wage there's a big difference between that, we have allowed competitive hourly wages to be increased so that you can meet where the hourly wages are in your area. I've also seen, where a lot of people are investing, I won't say a lot of people, but a lot of grantees that I've run across as I'm reviewing and having conversations. I've noticed that there would be outside relationships with vendors who would do their STEM. You have the opportunity to use your funds to, if you were to use a particular company that will come in and actually provide instruction. I have seen where they not only provide the instruction for their STEM program, but even the resources as far as the people that will come by and just kind of monitor and provide coaching for those individuals that are there daily. So it's just one of those conversations where we're having to think outside of the box. And I'll be honest with you, it's easier to think outside of the box when you're actually having to do the work than it is for us that are not out there. We can assist as far as researching and finding out what other people are doing, even outside of the state of Alabama. But those are just some suggestions that I know from what I've seen from conversations and from what others have been doing, because it's not just the state of Alabama that's having this challenge as far as staffing is concerned, especially with certified teachers, because you all are correct. The requirements for the classroom teachers from 8 to 3 are much greater than they have been in the past. And so, but we know that if we can get that aligned with the after school program, we'll see the most bang for our bucks, or most growth for our students, if we can have that tied in together.
Excellent. I agree. I know I've talked to some people about advertising at the local Y, or if you're at the local Y, advertising within the school system, going to the local colleges, churches, anywhere community gathers. Erica, can you think of any other suggestions?
The gatherings, like what you said, reaching out to your network to figure out, what resources they have. They have somebody that can come in, vendors, like Alicia said. Just trying to look at your community and what you have available and seeing how you can tap into those other resources. What churches, you put bulletin boards, wherever.
Brad, how are you today? We want to hear how your program's going and what challenges and successes you've had so far.
Oh, thank you. Good morning. We're still relatively new. I'm especially relatively new in working with our 3 sites. We have 3 schools, Pine Chapel, Elkmont, and Sugar Creek, but we made it through the very cold weather and during the Christmas holidays, and we actually had some damage, some flooding with some busted pipes at a couple of our schools. So we had to work through that, but overall, things are going well. We're getting all of our people trained. We had a day of training last week, a PD day for CPR. So we're getting our people in place now. We have site directors at all 3 schools, and overall things are going well.
Excellent. Do we have anybody CBO wise, a non-LEA, a non-school that would like to share out? You have different challenges, as we know. I thought Shari might come on. It's working hard. Well, let's talk a little bit now. Oh, there you are. Tell us how it's going for you and what some challenges and success you've had so far.
Well, we had a good first semester also, just cranking away here. You know, we had cohort 15, so I'm on my 4th, we're on our 4th year, and we have in and out of site directors. I started it and then hired somebody else, and I came back in when he got another job with the Y. But, you know, thank God we've had good staff security, which is a blessing, and we're trying to get our registration up. So that's one challenge. I mean, I just sent out a bunch more emails last week. So we'll see how it goes. Our school actually has a paid after school program. So we have to be careful to not include those kids in our registration because that's income taken away from the school. But we'll just keep cranking away, working with the principal to try to get those kids that she, you know, are not in that after school program into the extended adventures. But so we're just cranking away, trying to, you know, get our heads wrapped around getting ready for compliance. We're not going to be monitored, of course, but we're going to try to get all of our stuff into Cognia, waiting to get that diagnostic. That was one question. I just need help trying to remember how to get that diagnostic into my, you know, my journey. So we'll get there.
Thank you. Congratulations. Rebecca, you want to hit just a minute on Cognia and our call the other day?
Yes. Okay. So guys, all of our CBOs, you will be provided with a PowerPoint that kind of directs you through how to upload all of your documents into Cognia. There will be also a Zoom with Vicky. I'm not sure of Vicky's last name, Emmet, if you could just, I don't know if it matters, but Vicky is going to provide you all with all of the training that you all need in order to get all of those documentations uploaded into Cognia. And it's going to be very important that you make sure that when you're uploading those documents, that they are aligned with whatever that particular line item is. And then also, once you do get started and you have any questions, you will have that Zoom in your, I guess, as a resource to go back to it. But then you will also have us to contact so that if you need some assistance in going through getting those documents uploaded into Cognia, you'll have that. And then also our TAs, they participated in that training as well. So you have a great resource in us and also in the TAs in order to get you the assistance that you need in order to get those documents into Cognia. And I think as of today, I'm not sure of the exact date, but we will be getting it to you within, I'll say, hopefully within this week, you'll have those documents so that you can go on and get them uploaded.
Right. We spent about, what, 2.5 hours with Vicky on a Zoom, and we have another one today. And then we sent out an email just letting everybody know the LEA Cognia diagnostic is up and ready for you to go. The only thing that we see there is make sure you're uploading in the correct year. You don't want to upload in the wrong year because then that's going to create some problems and we can't cross over. You're going to have to start over. Erica, you have any advice as far as that goes with Cognia as a former grantee and compliance monitoring that's not in this year with cohort 16, but will be upcoming, and how to prepare for that?
I have no experience with Cognia because that came after I left the sites, thankfully. But I will say we did, we had shared files where we dropped things into the files regularly throughout the year, so that we were ready when I needed to put it in a box. So still the same things uploading to Cognia. So I would say create some type of shared file system. It could be Google Drive, or Office has something that's shared, a box or something where multiple people, all of your site directors can be pouring into that. So it's not just on the program director to try to get one, compile all the data at one time. Be proactive, start early.
Exactly. Yeah. The only thing is now the Cognia, and we cannot access if it's on a Google link. You actually have to put the document in the place that it goes. So different from the past and some other formats, some other software where you could put a link in there and then you go get everything. Everything has to be uploaded directly in there. The good thing is, like we said, it doesn't start for cohort 16 until next year, but it's a lot. So go ahead and start getting those documents together, saving them, making sure you have a cover page, you know what's going on, your evidence of your work, what you're doing as teachers, what you're doing as directors, and what the students are doing. So we also want to see evidence from the students within that. Angela, as a TA, do you have any advice on that?
I guess the only thing I would say is, less is more, in my opinion. Don't feel like you have to submit multiple things. Look for quality to upload over quantity. And I would also recommend, especially on the lesson plans and work samples, the work samples should align with the lesson plan that you submit for the indicator that you've uploaded. I guess that's my biggest thing. I will also say I've had a few phone calls over the weekend from LEAs that are having trouble getting to the new diagnostic. So we might want to check that and make sure that everybody does have access to the Cognia.
That's one of our reasons for our call today, is the access. Going back through that, we had a couple other people that contacted us too, that there were some challenges, and with staff turnover that does happen, and with new platforms. I know they're doing the new platform this year, but we'll get it worked out for sure. Anybody else want to add anything about Cognia or preparing for compliance monitoring?
I have a question, please. I'm with cohort 16. So you're saying that the Cognia documents are not due until this time next year?
Yes. So you will receive a schedule. Your whole
Okay.
cohort receives a schedule of when we will actually do the actual TA with you, when your documents are due, and when we will come on site and or do a virtual. So it's a process, but what we say a lot of times is you should collect evidence now as you go. And
Yes,
so
ma'am.
then you have everything ready in case there's something comes up and you're like, oh, well, we hadn't, we're in August or we're in September and we haven't done that yet. You can use this year's evidence.
Okay. I'm looking at the diagnostic for Limestone County schools. I'm the Cognia person for our school system, and I'm only seeing the 21-22 school year for the 21st century school level diagnostic. So I'm not sure which one we're supposed to use there, but that's the only one I'm seeing right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll check on it. We spent a long time with Vicki, like I said, on I think it was Friday, and then we have another call today because I don't know if it didn't go through. She was having production issues and has been having production issues, but good thing is it's not putting anybody behind right now. So we'll keep moving forward with that. Some other things going on. Want to talk just a little bit about, and I know Alicia and Rebecca and Erica and Angela can help us with this. As far as the RFA, what should you be doing right now with your RFA? Your application got approved, and so, okay, I'm ready to go. I've started a couple weeks and we're moving along, and something comes up and I want to hire another director or another teacher, or I want to start drones. So what should you do to ensure that that's aligned with your RFA? Anybody have any answers to that? All right, Erica, help us out. Let's say we've been going a couple weeks, and now we want to change some things, and we have the RFA, the application that was approved, and what we're going to do. And what do we do?
First, I'd say look at your RFA and figure out if you made it specific or not specific as far as different things that you said you were going to purchase in your budget, and if it aligns with your objectives. The second thing I would say is to get with your TA to see that to get approval for those things, because you don't want to purchase it and then it not be allowed. That was normally my chain as far as if I was going to change something, in my RFA. The other point that I was thinking when you first brought it up is you bring somebody in new, then contact me so that we can do an easy report training, because getting your easy report set up in the beginning sets the whole year up. If you don't set it up correctly in the beginning, then you're always going to feel like it's too much work, versus a lot of times you just put too many things in there and made it more complicated for yourself.
Points. And it is a reimbursable grant. So Alicia, I hope your mic's working. What happens if you turn in, oh, we're going to, we serve pizza every day? What happens when that comes through?
So can you all hear me? Because my computer's been acting up. Okay, good. Unfortunately, when we make purchases that are not allowable in alignment with the grant, then we will not reimburse you for that, for those particular items. And unfortunately, that has occurred with some purchases. So my suggestion is, if you have any doubts about what's allowable or not allowable, first go back and recheck your RFA, because it's very detailed on those types of things. If you still are in question, talk to your TA. If the TA has any questions, they will ask us. But it's best to do your research before you do your spending. So you all know that food and beverages are completely not allowable. So that's basically what has happened, because it has to come through us first. So that process of getting reimbursed with our CBOs is that they submit receipts and all of their documentation, and before we release it to LEA accounting on our level to approve it, it comes to us, and then we let them know whether or not you have met the documentation requirements. And if you have not, then your ES2 will be returned to you, and then a review letting you know what needs to happen, what's going to be changed, if money that was requested to be refunded will not be refunded, and is communicated to our LEA accounting.
Right. Very, very good in explaining that. And one thing we see often is within your RFA, you did have a component that you're going to do a garden, or you're going to do maybe even some math, and you're going to use some kind of ingredients and make something with that. Those are allowable if it aligns with your RFA. But what happens from there sometimes is, oh, well, now we have this great garden and we're getting all these tomatoes and this wonderful stuff. So we're going to sell them and give the money to charity, or we're going to use it to do something for our school. So where do we go from there? Does anybody have an answer? Is that allowable or not allowable?
Not
I
allowable.
think Brad is saying, Brad, were you saying, go ahead, Brad, take a swing at it.
It's not allowable. You have to give it away.
Yeah. And we're not the bad guys. We would love if we could grow food and give it away to the homeless shelter and do all those kind of things. We have federal compliance rules. Sometimes it appears that we're the bad guys or that something's not rolling out in a timely manner or whatever it may be, but usually that all has to do with federal guidelines and what we have to comply with. Shari, did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so we do have a community garden that's been our community service learning project. So we actually are providing that food that we harvest to our students, their families, and then to the community if we have abundance. So that's okay, right, to give it away to the community of people in need in our community.
And I forgot to mention, I'm sorry, and I forgot to mention that which you all have been really doing good at here lately, is submitting a lesson plan that is attached to the receipt that you may have used from Walmart that has food listed on them, or if it's a STEM project and you needed some gummy worms or something, you're showing how that's connected, and you're just not, feeding students and whatnot. So I forgot to mention that, but you all have been doing a really good job of doing that. It's just showing that you're in alignment with your grants, and that's all we want. We just want to keep everybody out of being tagged to come and do an audit,
We're trying, so let us know if you see anything out of sorts, okay? Thank you.
Definitely. What's another, Erica, thing you've seen happen throughout the programs are really trying to do something good and then it comes back, uh-oh, we're not supposed to do that, and that doesn't make any sense whatsoever that we can't do that.
Somebody recently asked about bottles of water. And it's like, no, we can't buy bottles of water. But how I circumvented that years ago is I would buy the kids plastic water bottles, and it was an activity that fed into, so they always had the water bottles that they could refill if your water stations are working at your school. But I want to go back to what Shari said about the community garden, because she had exactly what I was thinking. Make sure that you're putting your service learning stuff in Easy Report, so that you can show it to the federal government. But I also I was thinking about if you're giving the stuff to your parents, then let's also make that a parent involvement activity. So let's give them a recipe to use with the ingredients that you're giving them, so that they can have an activity and that's a hands-off parent involvement. You just literally gave it to them, you gave them the recipe, and they did it at home. They could send you some pictures back, and that could be your celebration of the service learning activity. Make it a twofer.
Yeah, excellent point. We see a lot of people and grantees come in and go, I don't know what to do for service learning, or I don't know what to do for parent involvement. And there's so many things that can tie into everything else. I believe last year we were on a Zoom and we were talking about doing a live Facebook with your parents. They were having trouble with parents showing up, and it's like, well, what can we do? Well, you can go live on Zoom. You can record it and let them log on and see it. So there are some options there. Rebecca, what about you? You have anything that you've seen come through that you're like, oh, I don't know. I asked Elisa or Yolanda or Erica or Annette, or something that you've seen that have been a challenge as a new person coming on 21st century and understanding the ins and outs of it.
Yes, one thing that I guess I had questions about were the purchases that were over $5,000. That was one thing that you need to make sure that you are getting approval and getting more than one quote before you go out and make that purchase of any capitalized item that's over the $5,000 cap. Well, it's not a cap, but that's over $5,000. But make sure that you have approval. And that was one of the things that I had to, question, not question, but kind of get a clarity on from Annette and also from Alicia as far as those capitalized items are concerned. And then one of the things that I did incur today was some of the kits. There's some kits that are being purchased, STEM kits, that are over $5,000 as well. I'm just wanted to make sure that, we're getting more than one quote for anything that we're purchasing with that amount of money that comes from that 21st Century Fund.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, we want to be good stewards of the money and getting those three quotes. A lot of times, what do we hear? We hear, oh, they're the only person that makes that product, or they're a sole source. So make sure you do your research, and just because they're on what I call a co-op, a buy board, you still have to get three quotes for that. So what else, Alicia, have you seen out there kind of unique that when you first came on that you go, oh, I didn't know that, and I need to share that with other people?
Um, I would have to say the creativity that I've seen with outside vendors coming in. Even with the financial piece, I know a lot of people may choose someone from a local bank, but I have seen someone choose that, but then the conversation I've had with the grantee was that they had a sit-down conversation of making sure that when that person came in, that they hit those components that the grant was requiring, and not just documenting that they came, but making sure that they were, whatever they were going to present was going to be in alignment with what the grant said, the RFA said, as far as when it comes to the literacy aspect of it. And once talking with a couple of grantees about it, once they understood that process and understood then I guess the evaluation part of it, or the window or the opportunity for students to actually implement whatever was tied to that was much easier, because there had been a sit-down conversation of what was expected from the grantee. A lot of times, unfortunately, the literacy part of the financial part was done just to have someone to come over a couple of times and speak to the students and whatnot, but there wasn't like a hands-on connection to it. And it may have been just because of lack of communication between the grantee and the person that was coming in to provide the literacy piece. So that was one that I think kind of stood out outside of when it comes to vendors. But the vendoring part, I've just seen a huge success. And as far as increase in student enrollment, because their program wasn't just sit down, doing homework or tutoring, or just what they saw from 8 to 3. It was more up and moving and whatnot. And that was because of the types of vendors that they got in. Like, I think somebody's doing jujitsu, or is that how you pronounce it? Karate. I know it's dealing with karate. And the way they have it set up, I was like, man, that's a big deal. And it's feeding off to some others who are in the community that can come in and provide for those after school programs. So yeah, I would have to say that.
So I have to say my favorite purchase that I've seen so far last year were drones. Seeing how they incorporated drones into their STEM and all, and the connections they did with that, and the parent involvement community, it was fabulous. And rock climbing, a rock climbing wall last year. And then this year, the monocular glasses to go out into the metaverse and be able to do so many things out there, especially fitness and geography and things like that. Cynthia, are you able to join us and just tell us some of the purchases that y'all have made and the things you're going to do with them? May not be available. Angela, as a grantee, when you were a principal and now a TA, tell us some of the purchases and things y'all did with your purchases.
Well, when I was a principal and my school was a site, it is the year that COVID hit. So as a principal, I don't have, I didn't see a lot of purchasing, but I think that was due to COVID. And anyway, I will say one of the coolest purchases that I have seen was with Russellville City at Russellville Elementary School. They had an interactive PE, and I know Russellville City's on here. Claudia, if you want to chime in, when I did their closeout for cohort 14, they showed me their interactive equipment in the gym. And of course, they had to get 3 quotes because it is way more than $5,000, but they were looking for ways for their students when it was cold or rainy or whatever to still get that physical activity. I can't remember the name of it, but when I was in the gym, doing a visual inventory to make sure, that their purchase was actually there, I had students come to me so excited, wanting to show me, how it worked and what they did and the equipment that they used for. They were so excited about that piece of equipment. And I think that was a huge win for their school and their site. Claudia, do you want to add to that? Well, not sure she's there. I will try to get the name of it, but it's an interactive system, mounts on the ceiling of the gym and projects on the wall. And then it also has equipment that goes with it. So it's a really cool purchase. Like I said, it's expensive. But if you're in an area that, especially in the northern part of the state where there's snow and then rain everywhere, to be able to give the kids the experience while they're inside, but virtually, able to do. Okay, she chatted, she typed in the chat. It's a Lou Interactive. It would be worth your time to at least look at what that is. It's very cool. And my biggest thing was the kids were so excited about it. They had no idea who I was, but they saw Miss Askew and Miss Crittenden, talking about it, and they came up. They weren't asked to, but they came up and were so excited to talk about how they use it in after school and how much fun they have with it.
Thank you. That's the best thing about going to all these sites and seeing the wonderful things that you guys are doing. Let's talk now while we're on purchases. Let's say you bought iPads and you bought 20. And Erica, I came in on Monday and now have 18. What do I do?
Yeah, before we do that, I thought I saw a question in the chat, but then I had to come off because of my internet. I think someone had put something in there about the Cognia, where to go. If you all want me to, I don't mind sharing my screen, share with you where to go with that. But if not, if the question has already been answered, then it's fine. I just want to make sure we didn't miss it.
I think we talked about that a number of them have tried to log on and get on, but it's not working, and that we have another call with Vicky today, and then to make sure that they upload things into 2020, 2022, 23, 21st century part. If anybody else had another question, chime in here real quick, and then we'll move back on to purchasing.
One other thing that I wanted to say, Annette, that I just looked at, as far as Vicky was concerned, as far as Cogni, is concerned, that although it's not up yet, well, it's not open to the CBOs yet, but when it is open, that they will receive that the workspace invite. And when you do receive that workspace invite from Vicky, you need to make sure that you accept that invite, because that's going to give you or grant you the access to the workspace so that you can, once you upload your information into diagnostics, you can copy it over to workspace so that we can go in and review those documents that you do upload.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And if I'm correct, that invite only stays open, was it 48 hours? So it's real important to accept that.
I think she said 24 hours, because she says she doesn't do it on Fridays. She'll do it probably, during the week. Because if they don't get it if she sends it on Friday, then, they won't be able to get to it in enough time so that so it times out or they need to have another one sent.
And be sure and check your spam and trash, just constantly to see if you have anything from Cognia. Okay, Erica, about purchases. All of a sudden, some of my iPads are gone. What do I do?
You're supposed to file a police report to say if it was stolen or something, but you also need to do whatever. If it's broken, then you need to follow your disposal thing from your LEA.
And I think that's one of the biggest challenges is when things are going to disappear, it happens, or things are going to get broken, is that they have their appropriate tag number on them, their inventory number, and that if they did disappear, that you filed the police report and you've saved it so that when we get into compliance monitoring or when we get into closeout, you have evidence of that. That's real important, and that you're locking up everything and taking really good care of it. Any other questions out there on purchasing or parent involvement or anything about the grant that we can help with? Alicia, did you want to show your screen? Kind of show them a little bit?
For Cognia? Okay.
Reminder while she's pulling that up. We do have professional development. We're going to go into the RFA, aligning the components and getting ready for not only making sure you reach your goals, but compliance monitoring coming up in the future and your GEPR measures. And those are required attendance. So today was optional, but I know we have a bunch of, I want to say 4 or 5 more required attendance for professional development and growth. And one of them starts tomorrow. So if you have any questions about those, please let us know so we make sure you have the link and that you have everything you need to be interactive on that, which is your RFA for sure. All right, Alicia, are you ready?
Just a minute.
Erica, you have any announcements, anything due that we need to make sure we tell them?
Everybody should be registering for ACEA conference. It's in February in Montgomery. That's a first thing. We have, let me see, your something else is coming up. Media reports are coming up. Cohort 15 it's due in January, and then cohort 16 is due in February. So I'll send emails with that information later today.
Good. And not only our cohort 16 professional development tomorrow afternoon, we have our updates, and Y for Y will be presenting. So we're excited for that. So 3:30 to 4:30 tomorrow afternoon, logging on and being a part of those. They're going to do a whole program. I think we have 9 lined up that all build on top of each other.
Hey, are you all seeing my Cognia screen? Okay, good. So once you log in, want to choose your site. Remember, you're doing your Cognia, you're uploading by site. So I'm just going to randomly pick one. The Capitol Heights Middle School is one of mine sites that I'm going to be looking at. You scroll down and you're going to see where it says go to diagnostics, the blue area. And what I have already done for Capitol Heights is I have already placed her information in, but before I did, I checked to see by going into the search to see had they already done it. And I just put in 21st to see what would come up. As you can see, 22, 23 is sitting there already. But before, it was only 21, 22 sitting there. And you can see who created it. You see my name there. But just in case yours is not sitting there, you would then go to new diagnostic here in the very right corner of your screen. Once you get there, you're going to have a choice, but you want to go to browse content. And these are all of the different forms, but you want to make sure you're on the form that's from the ALSDE, from us. There are a wealth of forms here. So what I did was I put in just 21st and saw what came up. And as you can see, this is the one from last year. Had I not already given Capitol Heights theirs, it would have said the exact same thing, but the year would have said 22-23. And once you get there where it says actions, you will click here and you're going to start a diagnostic for your site. So I'll go back and I will show you how, once you do that, you're going to make sure that when you open it up, you want to make sure that it's not locked. You want it to, so right now I would be locking it, but I'm not going to. You just need to unlock it. You'll see where it says to unlock it. Once you unlock it and scroll down, hit next, and you'll be able to see all of the different standards that are in alignment with the grant for you to upload your documents. Like we said, once you get to the attachment part right here, you want to make sure that you do not add anything that has a link, especially Google Docs, because of the way our platform is set up here with the State Department. We do not have access to Google Docs through our Cognia. So that there won't be a block, just make sure that they're either in PDF format or it's in a Word document, but no links. That's it.
Excellent, excellent. And like Rebecca said earlier, you will receive a PowerPoint and Vicki is going to do training. So don't panic if you're like, wait, what'd she say? And then also remember, you have tons of resources. You have Erica, you have Rebecca, you have Alicia, you have Angela, you have me, you have Ellen. So there's tons of people and then here to help you. And there's a lot of people like Shari that have had the grant, I don't know, 3-4 times. So the experience and the mentorship can really come in handy there. Before we close up today, just want to see if there's anything out there that y'all would like to ask us or have us work on or provide professional development in the future for. Okay, well, that means we will see you tomorrow. Make sure, or please have your RFA ready, the forms ready, and we will walk you through some components and how to prepare each day and answer your questions. And then tomorrow afternoon, be sure to log on and listen to Y for Y and their professional development, because you also can get a certification from them and a certificate for completion that you can use for professional development within your school or your system. Erica, any parting words for today?
Make sure you're on my email distribution list. If you're not, send me an email. My email is eatmoel@auburn.edu, and I'll drop it in the chat box too.
Thank you. Rebecca, any parting words?
No, I don't have anything other than if you need assistance, just please reach out to me, either email or you can reach out to me by phone.
Thank you. Angela, any parting words from our TA out in the field today?
Nothing other than, like Rebecca said, we're here for you. Anytime you need anything, feel free to give us a call. Email me, text me, call me. I'm pretty much available by any means, and I will do my best to help you solve any problems you're having or any questions you have.
Thank you. And Alicia.
Same here. Just let us know, and just don't forget that those of you who had TAs with Diane, Reynolds, and Paige, Union, you can always contact us directly until we get your TA. So if you were with Diane, then you would contact me. If you were with Paige, then you will contact Rebecca.
But other than that, we want to continue to communicate in our flow process, which is the TA. But of course, if that's not possible, then you're welcome to reach out to us.
Right. And we will also send out some information besides ACA coming up here in the first of February that's in Montgomery. There's a conference by the USDOE in July in New Orleans. And of course, there's a couple conferences, 21st century related in California and Florida, and all states have something going on. So look at your professional development budget and see what you can do, but definitely make sure you follow up with the ones that you're required to attend. So we hope you have a good day. Thank you for joining us today. And if you need anything, please let us know.